Yo, what it do, what it is, what it ain't. It's your boy T, man. And you already know what you're listening to, man. It's the Get Right Podcast, man. And this is episode 14. We in the building, man. We almost soon to wrap up season one, man. And what we want to talk about is a little bit of last week, man. But you know, I gotta introduce the brain trust of the fam. Rod, what's happening?
What up, though?
And public enemy number one, DC. What's good?
Mr. Misconception struck again, y'all. And I didn't even have a beer in my hand that time. So, I'm all with it, with all the smoke. Good though,
man, for sure, man. Because definitely last week was very, very interesting, man. And one of the things, a shameless plug, right? Because we're gonna be going towards the end of season one, man. And we want to invite guests, so I want to start reminding everybody, like, hey. I want to start inviting people. So if you want to be on, and talk about any of the previous episodes, man, whether you're talking about HBCUs, we talking about mental health, we talking about everything, man. If there's something that you say, hey, I want to add to, or hey, I want to debate y'all about, man, like the door is open, the forum is open, and we'd love to have any, lady, gentleman, on, and we can have a healthy dialogue and even break bread, get to know someone a little bit more, right? So last week was a great episode, and I'm not trying to say that just for viewers and likes and all that. It was really, really great because we hit on things where conversations need to be had, man. And it started off from B. Simone's podcast, and shout out to her because she's doing her thing. And it's all about a great man. What makes a great man? Does a person fall or falter, take that individual from a great man status? And it was solely based around MLK that comment was made on, and she used comparisons, right? If this guy marched, he did so many things, but he cheated on his wife. So does that take that allure away from a great man? And we talked about putting people on a pedestal that we shouldn't. We talked about how do we build? How do we build and help each other up? And we talked about the man and the female dynamics, where Mr. Misconception struck again, man. Lightning strikes like 10 times on this podcast. So with that, DC, I know you had some great conversations, especially on Facebook, and a lot of comments, man. Rod as well, man, because we talked about emotional cheating as well, man. How y'all feeling, man?
I feel good, man. Hey, and real quick, shout out to B. Simone podcast, man.
Absolutely.
Like it wasn't a bash towards them. The clip
was not,
again, and we talked about context and all that stuff in the last episode that we haven't watched it. So I went back and watched it, and there's some context there for sure. But again, the clip, like DC said last week, was, Kevin Samuels get bashed for clips of things without seeing the entire thing. So we just did the same type of response based off of the clip that we saw.
correct.
And, when you listen to the entire podcast, we actually agree on quite a few points, man. Right? We agree with what they said, right? And the overall thing was about what's more important, the perception or the reality of what this individual did, man.
Mm-hmm.
And just want to point that out there, that like we not that pod that's just gonna bash. Well, I don't think it was bashing in the first place, but we're not just going to touch on the topic and not review it afterwards just to make sure. So shout out to them.
Yeah, Social Proof Podcast. Shout out, man, because yeah, I think we disagreed on the statement, but the overall message, you know what I'm saying? Much love and respect. Much love and respect. So that's pretty much it, man. So emotional cheating, Rod, you got bashed. People hate you now.
hate is such a strong word.
I know, it's such a strong word, but people like, what you mean?
It is what it is.
It is a thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, some people felt like you just told them that Santa Claus, I'm not going to say it out loud because kids around, but, that's kind of almost how the message landed on some people, man. Like, what? How dare you say that there's no such thing?
You know what? I'm going to respect others' opinions and what their perception is. So if their perception is it's real, then it's real to them. To me, I have a different opinion on it. Like, I stand by what I say. my stand still say the same, bro.
Yeah,
Hey,
listening to that, Rod, it kind of makes me think of this movie. I don't know if y'all seen Minority Report. It's kind of old
absolutely. Dope,
with
dope, dope movie,
Tom
man.
Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, and so basically, for those who don't know, a little recap is it's set into the future, and they have like this technology that can basically predict whether or not you're going to commit a crime, and they arrest you before you actually do the crime. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I feel the whole emotional cheating conversation is going to. It's like, well, you can't really hold me for something I didn't actually do, right? But then the other side is like, well, you're thinking about it, it's going to lead to it, so that means it's still bad. But I could be pissed off at somebody, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna kill this mother. That don't mean I'm actually gonna do it. I could just be in the heat of, I could be mad in the heat of the moment. I go home, I chill out, and I'm not gonna do nothing. I was just mad right then and there. Like I'll be pissed at somebody, or I'll be pissed at somebody arresting me for thinking about committing said crime. And I think that's kind of where the emotional cheating thing goes too. It's like, yeah, you might have thought about it, you might have had an impure thought, but did you actually act on it? Because that's to me where the self-restraint comes in. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's one thing to think it, but it's another to actually act on it. You know?
Exactly.
And we all be locked up. We all be locked up, bro.
Yeah, that's
everybody in the whole world. I love that. Great movie,
That's
by the way. Good
that's a
fight.
great analogy, man. Like when you, man, that is dope, bro. Like that's why you come through, man. And that is a dope analogy.
I try, bro.
We try to open up that dialogue to understand others' views and opinions and perspectives. So one, we can educate ourselves. And I will say for me, one of the things, just to clarify why I say I don't feel it's a thing for me, is because one, like, you two know who I am, and you're still getting to know me, right? Because I'm an onion, bro. Like I come in layers. I don't just open up to anybody. So for me, it's very tough to emotionally connect to me, like 100%. So that's why for me, I'm like, I don't see it, because I'm more of a guarded person like that. So I get someone who is probably more of an open book and can share those type of things and share their feelings and all that, how you could get into a situation like that. And now you have someone that's connected on that level. I can understand that is something that could lead to other things for sure. But as far as just keeping it at that, like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Sound like you got to add to something, bro.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, the only thing I'll say is I know I caught some flack, a little bit of flack for some things. And, but I stand behind everything I said, and I stand behind the way that I said it. I don't think I did anything wrong or disrespectful to anybody. But I think what's important is to understand is that, men and women, we see the world through different lenses, right? And so the things that are important, and this is especially to single ladies and men out there, is the things that you find important as a man, or the things that you find important as a woman, the other side doesn't necessarily find important. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that we got to stop that whole, well, if I do this, then she should do it too. Or if I do this, he should do it too. No, it don't work that way. So like one thing that I kind of got some flack on is how men focus on physical appearance more than women do. That was my opinion, that, men are more superficial. We focus on what we see and what we can feel and touch, tangible things, versus the ladies. I think ladies are more drawn towards intangible qualities. And I caught flack for that, surprisingly. It's like, well, women care about physical too. I'm not saying women don't care about physical, but
not as much as we.
Not as much. And if y'all did, like, it has to work this way, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if men and women thought the same, the world would probably have been burned down by now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to think differently, and we should. I mean, we're biologically, physiologically different. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that the biggest thing is, just because we speak in our opinion and speak in our piece, that is not bashing. You know what I'm saying? We can disagree. You can disagree with my view, but just because I express my view doesn't mean I'm attacking you, doesn't mean I'm bashing you. You know what I mean? That's my truth. And you'll find, especially with me specifically, if I speak my truth, I will try to articulate as best I can how I came to that conclusion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't just be saying stuff, well, that's just how I feel, and that's what it is. Nah, this is why I feel, and I'm going to tell you how I got to this point. Now, you can disagree with that, but you can't just say, I'm just coming up with some stuff, or I'm just this, or I'm just that. You know what I'm talking about? So I think that's a little distant, But anyway, but it's all good, though, man. I think these kind of conversations is good, man. I think that our people, our community specifically, and that's why when in my last pod, I said Black women, because that's who I'm speaking to. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we as a culture, we need the most help. You know what I'm saying? We need to help each other the most. So when I say Black men and Black women, I'm saying that to uplift us. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that to criticize or bash, but part of the uplifting is you got to pull out some weeds. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're trying to get your lawn looking good and you got weeds, you got to pull them weeds up. And when you pull the weeds up, at first your yard is going to look ugly. You have patches and holes and stuff like that. But you pull them weeds up, you put some seed down, some fertilizer, you water it, and eventually have a nice, beautiful green lawn. And that's what I'm trying to do, man. We got to pull these weeds, And that's for the men too. And for that, on that note, and I'm gonna get off this, just how I've gone on and on about, what I talked about last time. I bring the same smoke to the homies as well. And I have done it in the public setting on this platform. So, I'm all about accountability for everybody, not just one side.
All day, man. I got a question for y'all, man.
Yeah.
Because you said, which is fair and true, right? How we view women, man. We look at the more physical, the aspects. That's just what it is, man. The nature of our mind. We're hunters, to use your word. Does it make us shallow, in a sense?
I've had shallow.
Yeah. I don't think I wouldn't use that to characterize the whole man race or whatever. But if you were to compare, I would say men are more shallow than women in general. Yeah.
Facts. I would agree to that, right? My wife brought that up. She's like, does that make y'all shallow?
Yeah, I mean, I admit
that
it.
make y'all shallow though?
I used to call myself Shallow Hal, bro, because that truly that's who I was. I don't know if you ever seen that movie.
Yeah,
Shallow Hal, the movie.
Yeah. If you wasn't a baddie, he wasn't trying to even see you.
But bro, that was, times are different now. But the environment that we came up in, like, bro, we had tip drill video. You know what I mean? We had video vixens and all this stuff.
BET Uncut.
100%. So this is what was being portrayed in everything we saw. I mean, music was life back then. Like videos were everything for us.
Yeah, I would say the videos was life, bro.
Yeah, so
life to everything, man.
So this is the image that you feel like I gotta, in order for me to make it, like, this is visually what's stimulating me right now. So that's visually what I want. You know what I mean? So that comes with growth and maturity. And you know what I mean? When I was younger, for sure, I was shallow as hell. You know what I mean? And we grow out of it. Like, it is what it is. Like, and I think women were pretty shallow back then too. You know what I mean? Like, they had their moments. Like, I've been called everything from ugly to gorgeous, bro. So it's like, I don't know what that makes me handsome. Maybe I don't know what the median would be, right? But it depends on who, the eye of the beholder. So, I think women have shallow moments, like DC was saying. Like, it makes us more shallow.
Right?
But with growth and maturity, you start to learn more. You start to understand that personalities matter, and some of the baddest ones had the worst insides. You know what I mean? Like, they insides was just trash, and personality was trash. So you talk about building and having kids, you want to look for different personalities versus looks, because looks are going to fade at some point. Like, there are a very, very small population that continues to look a certain way their entire lives. Like, Halle Berry is not the norm. You know what I mean? It's not the everyday, that's what you gonna look like all the time. You know what I mean? That's just don't happen. It's facts.
18 to 50.
No, it's not gonna happen. She is in a very small minority of people that can look like that. You know what I mean? So once I had to flip my brain to understand that, and it took some help. Like I would say, my wife even.
Yeah, not
Nah,
fully,
bro,
man.
you kind of jumped in on it, bro. What makes the total package?
And just real one thing on the
Yeah.
whole shallow thing, Louboutin, Louis V bags,
I knew he was going there.
Chanel number 5. These are all brands that women covet. You know what I mean? So it's not as if like it ain't just us. You know what I mean? Like we're just shallow about different things. You know,
Not every woman though. Not every woman covers it, but we know, right? I think.
Well, but not
you
every man covers beauty
with
though,
us,
like
right?
that either, though. I mean, we know it's not every. We're just talking about generalizations because not every man is going to be shallow how. So yeah, we know that. But I mean, like as a whole, these are things that women are going to covet. Scrubs. TLC made a song. I don't want no scrubs. You know what I mean? Like this is. So that shallowness or whatever, it goes both ways. But
and that set man back. That song set man back. Yeah, that song set man back.
Side couldn't even get the number.
Yeah.
Well, how you?
His car could have been at the house, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was just about
the
to
homies carpool all the time. Hey, bro, we finna go to the mall, man. Come pick me up. I'll go with you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
We can't do that no more though.
There's still a high.
Past, that's what you were.
But there's still a high volume of shallowness just in this country in general. Like when you think about the individual that only dates D-boys, right? They're doing that for a reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it might not be because of those particular brands, but it's because of what they can give, you know what I mean? For the most part, because again, if you riding with a D-boy, your life is on the line, you know what I mean? It's on the line, but what they can provide for you quickly seems to be more important than what the repercussions may be.
There it is right there. You just said quickly, bro. Fast money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Fast lifestyle, right? Fast enhancements. And I'm not talking about physical nature, just living arrangements. Things are happening fast. You know what I mean? But that stuff can be gone just as fast too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it kind of goes back to, I think DC, you shared a video and with us in our group chat, right? And this young lady was like, yeah, I left him because he couldn't buy this for me. But the young lady she was talking to, she was like, yeah, but you say he a good guy. He love you, treat you well, but he can't afford this. So this is why you leaving? Pretty shallow, right? And you know, same thing with, like you just said, shallow Hal. He probably was like, oh, one of them nails was broken on that hand. Can't rock with you. I can't rock with you.
Or Boomerang. Remember Boomerang when
Boomerang, perfect example, bro. She had hammer time.
Yep, the hammer toes.
You know, beautiful from top down. He's like, I see no little corns. She not the one.
Yeah, she was not the one, bro. I get it.
And it's crazy that there are people that do that. You know what I mean? Because like those little cosmetic flaws can be fixed, right? Like corns on your feet, like you can get that taken care of. But there are people that legitly will be like, nah, bro. Like, nah.
Like I saw that, bro, on the pinky toe, and I was like, nope. And he was like, bro, how was the date, bro? It was cool, though, super cool. But then she took her shoes off. I was like, nah.
Yeah, and I just think it depends on what season we're in too, man. Because I ain't gonna lie, I've kind of been that guy. You know, you got corns. We
all have.
Whatever that slight flaw is, I got to cut you off. You know what I'm saying? But so I think part of that is maturity. You know what I'm saying? At least for me specifically, I can say that was maturity. So that definitely comes into play as well, bro. But yeah, I mean, but also I do feel like as a black man, I was able to be choosy, bro, because, you know, as a black man, no criminal record, not on the down low. I've always worked. I've always made money. I've never like rich or anything, but I was never really like broke either. So like in the black community, that kind of puts you up there a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm gonna take advantage of it. You know what I'm talking about? So that's how that goes. I don't toot my own horn, but back in the day, no, I'm just playing. But
hey, bro, everybody wanted the, you know, scene. Let's talk to you because you brought up a great example, man. Boomerang, bro. Everybody wanted to be Marcus.
Everybody. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was a bravado. It was the swag and how he approached things.
And
Because, like you just said, the
not with those
BET
Lady
video.
Eloise's, bro. Not with those Lady Eloise's stuff.
My God. But no, man, you think about it though, that to what Rod said, and then DC to bring BET and Boomerang together. It's what we saw on TV.
hmm
It looked cool. We grew up seeing that stuff, right? So we figured in life this is what the standard looked like. Marcus showed you how to be a successful person in business, but he also showed you how to be shallow, right?
Mhm.
BET just showed you like, yo, if you get a lot of money, bro, this is the type of chicks you get, right? Because that
For
was just the
sure.
impression. And so just think about that, man. You know, and we had to grow up, what you said, Rod, mature, grow up. People
Yep.
that are younger than us now, right, who can be that impressionable because they see so and so with the Maybach and so with all these chicks.
Well, they got Instagram models now.
Oh yeah, now it's a whole new world, right? So what are they looking for, right? Because they can say, "Oh, I'm looking for my man who just signed that 5-year, $100 million deal." So you're like, "Oh, well, I'm out," even though you're like, "Oh, I'm out. That ain't me," right? So what do you look towards to, right? What's attainable, right? Because now, is it looks? Is it the personality? Those are things that you got to fight with on the Instagram side. To your point, Rob.
I think you have to. I mean, it's going to be different for each person. It's all about what your goals are. Like, I know my goals were eventually to build with somebody, build a family. You know, the American dream, man. Buy a crib, do all the fun stuff that you get to do, travel and all that good stuff. Which, you know, we still working on those goals. But you know, some that I know, like, that was never their goal. Their goal is not to get married. Their goal is to have fun. And like, we're in a generation where, again, we're constantly reminding them that marriage don't work. Telling them the stats that 65% of marriages are going to end up in divorce anyway. So when you start thinking about that and portrayed, marriage may not be something that anyone wants to do. They okay with that. They're cool with that. They want to live, you know what I mean, the Hugh Hefner lifestyle, we'll call it, right? You know, that may be the goals for someone, and women are the same. You know what I mean? Women have that same mentality as well. So it's kind of both sided where, look, I can sleep around, I can do what I want to do, and, you know, get money from different, like, if it's a woman, I can get money from different dudes. Now, if it's a male, I'm just trying to stick in. It all depends on what your goals are, I think.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. You know, I don't know, kind of switching gears. I know we kind of touched on this
Turn the
briefly.
page.
We kind of touched on this briefly, but the school shootings, you know, the dude went and shot up the school and everything. And now, of course, all the talking heads, you know, well, we got to have stricter gun control, and the pro gun people, guns don't kill people, people kill people, things
I
like
want to
that.
talk about that too. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
bro.
And so what's weird to me though is what nobody is ever talking about is why is it all of a sudden people shooting up schools? Because this is the thing. Guns have been around in America since day one. Like, literally, we were founded on gun ownership. It's in the Bill of Rights. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we were founded on having guns, and we didn't have guns for hundreds of years here. But yet, and on top of that, we've had bullying. Kids have been getting bullied all throughout middle school, high school. This is nothing new. You know what I'm saying? But now all of a sudden, kids are getting bullied and they're shooting up schools. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one thing well, there's a couple of things I see in common with all these school shootings. One, they're kids that got bullied a lot, and two, they're kids that don't have a lot of melanin in their skin. You know what I'm saying? And so my thing is, they talking about guns, and I've seen stuff where they have like $400,000 security systems that they're installing in some of these schools that have like smoke bombs that go off and alarms, and the doors lock automatic, and they teach kids drills on how to not get shot. And they're doing all of this, but nobody's talking about the fact that it wasn't until 1999, that was Columbine, that you had to really start worrying about your school getting shot up. And nobody's talking about the real reason why. And honestly, I'm going to say it's not guns. I do think guns are a problem in America, and there might be a whole nother conversation. But the issue isn't guns. You know what I'm saying? The issue is the sense of entitlement that has grown in the last 30 years amongst a certain demographic of people. And it's not people that look like me or my co-hosts. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that is the real issue. You know what I'm saying? Because like the thing is, black folks, we have issues with violence, but we don't just go around shooting random places up. Like there might be a shootout at a mall or a game or something like that. And not to make light of it, but like if black folks are shooting people, they trying to get somebody in particular. There might be an innocent bystander that gets hit, and that's unfortunate and whatnot, of course. But we're not just going around indiscriminately just shooting people because we had a bad day. Like we don't do that, right? It's not in our culture. We're not raised that way. What is it that's happening in other cultures in America that they're being raised in a way that is producing mass shooters on a consistent basis? As we can see, we've got a 20+ year sample size at this point, and it is what it is. And my thing is, why is that not part of the conversation?
Right, you want to go, or I'll jump in?
No, you can go. But one thing I will say before I jump in is, on top of that, why is it every time something like this happens, there's some governor or senator or politician or someone saying, well, we had more killings in Chicago this weekend than we did in this? Like, what difference does that make? You know what I mean? Like, I get Chicago has its issues, and like you just said, like we have
those are tainted stats.
We have internal issues, right, that we have to deal with and we have to address. Right? We'll touch on that as well. But overall, like, killing is killing. It's wrong. It's wrong. Like, why try to deflect the conversation to make it seem important that this happened versus what happens in, you know, a certain city every week? You know what I mean? Like this, that's just crazy to me. But go ahead, T.
So, DC, to answer your question, why is that, bro? We talk about it all the time, man, in this world. Power. Right? So we can't lose power. So when people that are in place of power and they know they can lose power, they're going to do everything they can to fight it, right? Because the bottom line is green. So we can talk black, white, Asian, Latino. The bottom line is green. And people have access to these weapons where now they're saying, hey, we should probably look at getting background checks. This, that, this, right? That's probably slow down gun sales. I don't think it'll slow it down drastically. I think people will still make their money. And I'm all for anyone who wants to own a firearm. Shout out. But now it's going to limit access. If you limit access, you're taking away some of my power. So, no, guns aren't the problem. It's mental health. Because that's what you're hearing. Guns aren't the problem. It's mental health. So, could that play a part in it? Yeah, but the access is there. Like, the access is there. Like, my man went to the store, got an assault rifle. Easy. Cash money. Bullets, easy.
And at that time, he was a law-abiding citizen. I just want to throw that out.
Right.
Because they say the criminals get the guns, but he was not a criminal.
Nah, law-abiding, bro. Went in, bro. Just like me running up to Walmart, give me a thing of bread. Easy. No background check, no nothing. Like, hey, man, what you need? I mean, let me get that off that wall. Let me get a couple 100 rounds. Let me get this. Cool. Yeah. That was it. So when the government is like, oh, no, it's not the guns. Like you said, you got those governors. You got everybody saying this. It's about power, man. And that bottom line. Because people get in their pockets lie. And we know this. Everyone knows this. People just don't want to talk about it that much, but this is what it is. The second thing I want to hit on is how the hell, same thing, the talking heads and people on the Hill are talking about putting laws up so women can abort, don't have an abortion. We're gonna make it hard for you to do it. But we don't want to put laws in to protect the current kids that are getting slaughtered daily. And that's all. It's not a gun thing. It's not a this thing. It's not a that thing. It's okay. This is very, very. You're saying, oh, preserve life. We gotta preserve life. Can't abort. Preserve life. Preserve life. But you got, whether you Democrat, Republican, all that. I don't care. You have everybody who's voting. 90% of people who are voting, no matter what aisle they're on, is saying, "Yo, y'all gotta lock this shit down because our kids are getting killed. Y'all gotta figure this out." But yet, you talk about preserving life, but you don't want to talk about preserving life. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense to me. Because again, it's gonna come down to people are getting their pockets lined. It's green. That's all this is, bro.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. And as far as the abortion thing, the only reason that they're fighting so hard against abortion is because the people who get the most abortions are white people. I mean, and this is not my opinion. This is a statistical fact. White people get more abortions than anybody else. And also what's happening when you talk about poverty is the white majority is shrinking every day. And so I think at the path that we're going, sometime in the future, I think it's maybe 20 years, something like that.
Sooner than that, bro. By 2030.
2030, the white folks will be the minority.
It'd be one of the most diverse populated countries in the continent. Well, not continent, country.
Yeah.
World.
So
it's beautiful though. That's the melting pot. I love it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And so now though, but those who have been in power and the history, what they've done with that power, are now afraid of losing it because they know what they have done over the course of hundreds of years with their power and their abuse of people and abuse of power. And so that's why I think that the whole abortion thing is such a big deal, because it's like, okay, well, if we stop people from having abortions, then we can still have the numbers. That's what I believe it all comes down to, because just like you said, T, once the baby is born, there is no more help for them. They call them entitlement programs. You know what I'm saying? You want to force the woman to have a child that she didn't want or shouldn't have. And once the baby is born, it's, figure it out. You shouldn't have got pregnant. We need to cut food stamps. Oh, we need to cut housing programs. We need to cut these. They call them entitlement programs, but they're not entitlement programs. Like helping somebody eat food, which, by the way, y'all, part of the budget is like 2% of our national budget is like food stamps. Like people make it seem as if that's what's killing our country. That's why our deficit is what it is, but it's not. It has nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, I'm gonna get on. Let me get off this.
Nah, man, I feel you though.
Hey, but T, you mentioned something, bro. I wanted to hear your take on. So Rod mentioned Chicago, and what's going on out there, and you said they were tainted stats.
Those are tainted stats.
So what you mean by that?
Because this is, it's sad that we always say, hey, this is wrong from minority communities. And they say, well, look what's happening in your community. Because the governor was like, well, this happened in 1 week versus this. Those are tainted stats because they say, oh, you're deflecting. All you're doing is deflecting. And those are tainted stats when you say, hey, most people are dying in your area. But when you pull up the numbers, it's not the case. Most crimes that happen because of one populated area, if it's all Asians, most Asian on Asian crime is going to happen, right? Yeah. If it's all Latinos, most crimes against Latinos is going to be on each other. That is just part of the world. So people always want to throw that stat out and don't look at the numbers. But when you go globally, where majority are not Asian, Black, Latin, you see what the crimes are happening. When you look at mass, let's call it what it is, domestic terrorism, that's not nothing you can try to compare to a small neighborhood in a city. So I hate when people do that because you're deflecting. You're taking something that's traumatic to people's families and saying, well, look what's happened over there in that neighborhood. Like, that's the dumbest shit you can do, to say that and be sitting as a public figure, as a governor or senator, to be sitting in front of a lot of people who are expecting you to make an impact on others and protect others because you write policies, you write bills, and you deflect and say, well, look what happened over there in that neighborhood. Then ain't got shit to do. Why I have to bury my 9-year-old child?
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? So you have to like really take a step back, man. And people, I don't know why people do that and deflect, bro. Like the pressure is on you, but you sitting in that seat, that chair for a reason. I think we all talk about our day-to-days, being leaders in our community, being leaders of others, right? Everything ain't gonna be sunshine and rainbows and lollipops, right? So there's times where you are gonna be looked at to say, hey man, you gotta make the decision, you gotta make the results. Instead of saying DC saying, well, look what that other company doing. Bro, that ain't about what that other company doing. It's about what your company doing, bro.
Right.
And so that's why I say, like, one, those are tainted stats because you're pulling up numbers from a small neighborhood and you're calling out a city. Oh, what happened in Chicago? That happened in a neighborhood, bro. Look what's happening, like, right in front of your face with all these cameras on a consistent clip. Like, this is the worst thing that me even saying that shit out loud sounds crazy, bro. This is happening on a consistent basis, bro. Damn near every 2 to 4 months. How crazy is that, bro?
Yeah, it's crazy.
How crazy is that every 2 to 4 months, a parent has to say, man, I wonder if this is going to be the school that gets hit.
Yep.
Talking about kids, bro.
Yep. Bulletproof kids, bro. Bulletproof backpacks. Like people want to go after the symptom, but not the actual problem.
Yeah, here, take these plates. And I actually have one, bro. That's crazy. I actually have one.
Dang.
That I had to give. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To our oldest. I just put this in your backpack just in case.
Man, that's crazy.
How crazy is that, bro? How crazy is that, man? Every 2 to 4 months, bro.
Yeah. That's insane, man. That is crazy, bro.
So yeah, that's why I say those are tainted. Those are tainted stats, bro. You're calling out numbers that aren't even like directly accurate because you're comparing them to another percentage, and then two, you're deflecting, bro, and you're putting it on other minorities, man. I'm not even saying black. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just putting it on other things, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like for what? To save your vote? Because to save that bottom line? You know what I'm saying? Because the main thing they're asking for, and I'm supporting that too, bro. Do a background check. You do a background check for everything else.
Yeah.
We run your credit. We run your credit. We run your credit for everything else. We run credits. We do all these things for you to purchase some stuff. Now, why not do that?
I will say, to play a devil's advocate, they do background checks. I don't know what happened with this guy, but my thought is, even if they did a background check, I don't think it would have pulled up anything because at that point he was not a criminal. Right? He wasn't a criminal until he shot up the school. That's why I say like this whole background checks and stuff.
So what's the solution? Like what's
there is? Look, I'm gonna chime in on this, and I'm not gonna talk too specifically on this shooting because, as you know, kids that triggers me, bro. So I can't. This is where the emotions come in. I can't,
kids, bro. Yeah,
I can't. But I'm saying I can't.
A little hot, but yeah,
I can't articulate in a positive way how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? And for the sake of my day job, I can't go there. So I won't speak on it until I can articulately, you know what I mean, wrap my brain around it. But I hear a lot of people offering solutions, and I'm going to just put it out there that I am in support of carrying, right? I carry.
Sure. With you.
Support it. I think every household should have some sort of firearm within their possession. You know what I mean? Not that you have to carry it every day, but everyone should be trained on how to use a firearm and be able to protect their family from, like, if something was to happen with invasions or schools and those type of things. So I'm pro having armed guards at the schools, you know what I mean? Which luckily we stay in more conservative states, so we get to see that. So with the whole notion of background checks, again, when I had got my CPL in Michigan, I got it through Macomb County, which boy, they did background checks. They called my mama house and asked if I still live there. And obviously my mama being my mom, she like, yeah, he gonna always live here. You know what I mean? And I almost wasn't granted my CPL because of that. Like I had to go get mail and stuff showing that I legitly stayed in Macomb County at the time, right? Which was a little more strict than probably Wayne or Oakland at the time. I don't know. I know Wayne was a lot easier. I don't know about Oakland, but at the time I was in
I
Macomb.
lived in Michigan. Yeah, Macomb be on your head, bro.
Yeah, Macomb is
They
crazy.
be on your head.
So, and they ask a series of questions. You have to appear in front of a board. So there are certain counties or states that have extensive laws to carry. I know we're talking about purchasing, which the laws aren't as extensive to purchase. But like DC said, if I do a background check and you haven't done anything to make me even feel like you're going to do anything negative with this, then I really have no dog in the fight. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what you're finding. A lot of these school shootings are maybe, social media, something have one or two things that may be like, that's interesting, but probably nothing to make you think like this person is going to go out and do anything insane, right? So what I've found is most of these terrorists, like let's call them what they are, they don't have a history of violence or a history of anything. It's mainly a history of loneliness, no friends, so nobody really there to even recognize that this person may be a little bit off, and there's really nothing to prevent that person from getting that firearm at that time. So background checks, I don't think are going to solve the situation.
No.
Some people say, well, put more armed guards at these schools or metal detectors or whatever the case may be. Man, there was police at this particular shooting that I don't understand how this happens, but they waited outside for 48 minutes while this shooter was shooting. Like, how does that happen? For one, no clue.
I feel you, bro, because I would have broke protocol. They'd be like, hey, stand down, bro. I'm going in, bro.
You have to, bro.
I wear that badge and that shield, and bro, I love police officers, and I shout out because I got family and friends that walk these streets and are out here. And so this is not a shot. But if you're wearing that badge and you know what's going on in there, I feel like I gotta try to make a difference. I gotta put my life on the line because and those people who wear those badges put your life on the line. Shout out to you because that is a strenuous job too. But that's what you signed up for,
bro. You talking about kids, bro?
Exactly.
You are talking about.
I'm in there, bro. I got the vest on. I got my handle, whatever that is, bro. I'm in there, bro. It
is a known fact that your primary responsibility, if and we're going to say men, I know there were men in there and women as well, but women and children are first priority, bro. And it's always been like that. You mean to tell me you can stand outside for 48 minutes while you hear the shooting going on, while you hear things happening to mother freaking kids, bro? Like,
bro. I'm with you, Rod. I'm with you.
Come on, bro. Like, again, that's why I can't speak on this right now, but I don't think the solutions that have been put out in the media and what some of the far left or far right is calling for is a solution, bro. Like, I really don't know what the solution is. I'm not going to be that guy that say, well, you got to do this. I don't know, bro. But I do know that something has to change, dog. Like, that shit is crazy.
Change, bro.
Like, we just talked about this a couple weeks ago in a different capacity. I said it's like the kid thing triggers me. And what happens a week later? Somebody shooting up kids, man, 4th graders. Bro, I got a son that's going to the 3rd grade this year. I got to look at him and wonder every day, oh, damn, like, is he going to come home today? You know what I mean? Like, something got to change, bro.
Right? And that's what I'm saying. We're thinking about this every 2 to 4 months now as parents, bro. DC, we're not trying to give, I'm not asking. And Rod, love you, bro, and I appreciate you, and I understand where you coming from, man.
For sure.
And it's okay, bro. You ain't got a solution, bro. But I mean, DC, I'm glad you turned the page to talk about this because what's your thoughts on it, then, man? What would you say? Hey, Are we? Let's visit this idea.
So, all right, man. So, brace yourself. So, just a few things. So, I'm a gun owner myself. I own a handful, and I have my CWP as well. And yeah, to Rod's point, they go deep. If you want to get a CWP, concealed weapons permit, that's what they call around here. They're gonna dig through your stuff, and rightfully so. So I understand that process. Now, I just want to throw out a few stats. One, I do believe guns are a big part of the problem. And what you'll find is that meeting violence with more violence, because that's essentially when you're talking about security and more officers in the schools and this, that, and the third, you're talking about meeting violence with violence. And while that may work in the short term, in terms of if somebody was there to stop the guy, then that'd been great. But it is not a viable long-term solution. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna explain some stuff, bro. Y'all know I love my numbers, right? Mm-hmm. So on average, there's about 500 accidental gun deaths per year. People just shoot themselves on accident, they kill themselves. Kids playing around, somebody don't know what they're doing, playing too much, right? It's only 365 days in a year. So basically every day, 1.5 times per day, somebody accidentally kills themselves with a gun, right? Boom. Now, self-defense, right? All about having firearms for self-defense. I keep some. On average, there's about 300 cases of a gun used in self-defense that killed somebody. Now, I don't know about injuring and maiming. I don't know those numbers. But as far as killing somebody, 300. So less than one a day that somebody saved somebody's life in self-defense or took somebody's life in justifiable self-defense. Mm-hmm. But check this out. On average, there's over 10,000 criminal gun deaths per year. Over 10,000. So my point is, although I love going to the shooting range, I enjoy it, but that is the problem. Like having access to deadly weapons, although there are some merits to it, protecting your family and this, that, and the third, we look at that, we just kind of take the emotional aspect out of it. The numbers show that it's simply not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Now, the problem is that guns are so ingrained in our lifestyle, and there's just so many guns in America. It's unrealistic to say we should just make it all illegal and everybody turn their gun in. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen.
What's going to have to happen, what I do feel should happen, and I will be willing to, is they have to be phased out slowly, and the culture around guns has to change. But that's not going to change because the NRA just has so much money and so much power behind it that you're not allowed to talk down on gun use. But
the bottom line, bro.
Yeah, but the bottom line is, bro, like if you look at the quote unquote good that gun ownership can do, the bad far outweighs it. It's not even close. You know what I'm saying? So meeting, and I'll just use a few other examples, meeting violence with violence. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. World War II, for example, and I'm talking about big scale. Hitler, the Holocaust, where there's no reasoning there. You just got to get to it, right? But look at the wars that America has entered where we lost or just didn't win, I guess. Vietnam.
Yeah, I knew you was going to go there.
Yeah, we went to Vietnam. We met violence with violence. We went to somebody else's house to try to tell them how to live. And that war was a loss. You know what I'm saying? Even the war in the Middle East. We fought for 20 years out there in Iraq and Afghanistan, this and the third. And not much has really changed in 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Ain't much change, bro. Meeting violence with violence rarely works. So that's one. So now it's like, oh, well, damn, DC, what's the solution? I'll tell you the solution, man. As far as this whole violence with violence, the schools need more support. Every single year, schools get defunded more and more and more.
Preach, bro.
Teachers get paid like $30,000 a year.
Preach, bro.
Imagine paying somebody $14, $15 an hour, and you're entrusting them with your most valuable asset, your child. Your child is your most valuable asset on earth. And you want somebody to work for $30,000 an hour, and you want them to do everything. And when I say
$30,000 a year, but we with you.
My bad, yeah, a year. My bad.
We with you, y'all.
Yeah, a year. You want to do everything. You see, I see this more and more. My mother was an educator. I have numerous educators in my family, and the culture around school has changed. It used to be, Kids do their homework. They come home. The parents helping out. This, that, and the third. If the parent sends a note home, says, "Hey, your child was bad," you just take the parent at their word. I mean, the teacher at their word, and you say, "Well, child, son, daughter, Miss So and So says you was acting up. So I believe you were acting up too. What you doing?"
Yep,
But nowadays, it's you have parents coming to school. Don't tell my kid what to do. My kid said he didn't do it. He didn't do it. She said she didn't do it. She didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? And essentially enabling these kids to be little rotten bastards. You know what I'm saying? And so I shouldn't say bastards, but spoiled little kids. And that brats. And that creates entitlement. And you know what entitled people do when they don't get their way? They throw temper tantrums. They lash out. And what's the most extreme version of lashing out? You shoot up the school. That's as extreme as it gets. You start, or no, it's not. Because next, and I'm not even trying to speak. I'm knocking on wood if y'all can hear it. But I hate to say it's probably gonna happen next. It's gonna be bombs in these schools, and I'm not lying, and I'm not wishing that on it. But that is the direction that we're going. Because the thing about the key thing that has changed since we went to school in the 90s, and my parents in the 70s and 60s and so on and so forth, is nobody's accountable to teachers anymore. But there is nobody's the kids aren't even accountable to teachers. But I see all kinds of videos. I'm on Instagram and TikTok or whatever, and you see kids going off on teachers, bro, beating them up. You know what I'm saying? Like slapping teachers, cussing them out, this, that, and the third, and it goes viral and it's funny. And I'm sure the kids get suspended or some kind of consequence on the back end. But certainly it's not enough to the point where you start to see it going viral over and over and over again. Like, one thing I'll say about this generation, I believe that this generation is not so much worse, as in the kids, than us. I do believe most of it is just we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have smartphones, and they do. But one thing I do think is worse is the way teachers are treated. Bro, I can't really think of, and maybe just the schools I went to. I kind of grew up in the burbs, but the schools I went to, bro, we weren't just cussing out teachers, and we wasn't swinging on teachers. You know what I'm saying? We had too much respect / fear to do that. You know what I'm saying? We just weren't.
If I swung on a teacher, bro, I was getting swung on at the crib,
bro. That's how. But nowadays, teachers, every single thing a teacher does is questioned and is scrutinized. And oh, by the way, so you could really say that the bar has been raised for teachers as far as what they are expected to do, right? But the pay went down. How does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't even make sense. So I'm gonna pay you less. Imagine going to your doctor, your heart surgeon. I know you normally get paid, $80,000 per surgery, but I need you to do it for $20 per surgery now. And you better not mess nothing up, or that's your ass. Bruh, people gonna drop out. He's like, I'm not gonna be a heart surgeon anymore. It's not worth it. But that's what's happening with teachers. There's a teacher shortage all over the country, and nobody can figure out why. Well, imagine taking a job where nobody supports you. Kids are allowed to treat you any kind of way. You're not allowed to hold the kids accountable. They took away so many things at school. You can't suspend kids for this and the third. You can't do. There's so many things you can't do with kids anymore, that essentially it becomes a breeding ground for this type of stuff to happen. And that's what I believe it is. It's just a lack of accountability, and nobody is supporting public schools, both financially, morally. Add another LY I can't think of right now, but to me, that's what it is. The schools are just not being supported the way they used to, and it's creating an entitled generation. Kids spend a lot of time in school, y'all. A lot of time.
All day. Mm-hmm. Literally, no pun intended.
Yeah,
all day.
It's not the guns, man. It's the culture. It's the culture around how people treat authority figures. Mm-hmm. Mm. So that's my 2 cents, bro. I'm gonna get off that.
Hey, man.
Gave him a Rudy slow clap.
Hey, dog. Hey, bro. I was getting fired up listening to that, because you're right, bro.
Yeah,
man, these teachers are, man. I don't know a lot of people that's in education too, bro. Yeah, and if y'all listening to the teachers, shout out.
Yeah, shout out to the
shout out Mary Haley, one of my favorite teachers.
Yeah.
Ever, where I had that respect, and she was just amazing. Was amazing, and so shout out her. Yeah, bro. I think there are teachers people I went to high school with now that are teaching. And man, y'all are superheroes, man. Shout out Adam. My
Yeah,
dog, Adam Mills, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I see you
yeah,
always supporting the pod too, and you be supporting everything that's going on wrong in this world. And to be a teacher today. Shout out. There's a couple classmates, man. I know, man. You got to be damn near
yeah.
godlike
Yeah,
because,
and you got to spend your own money nowadays, bro. How many
bro,
so you
I
got friends
seen
that
him
are
make a
teachers?
post. I seen him make a post like, "Yo, I'm about to buy these pizzas for the kids and get these supplies and have them
Yeah,
turn up."
bro, make it make sense.
You have to be like damn near godlike, man, because you're doing. Ah, man, you're turning the cheek a lot.
It's
When
too
you get
much.
slapped a lot.
It's too much, bro. It's too much to ask, and it creates a culture that you don't have
And
to
we as
respect
parents,
authority.
man, we gotta put, like you said, we as parents gotta back these schools and these teachers more.
Yeah, you got to do
Instead of
it.
showing up, talking about the teacher, because that was the saying. We all used it, man. So let me raise my hand and you know what I'm saying? I told my parents, man, teacher lying. But my parents ain't go for that though.
Right.
Because they know what the hell they got a lot for. You acting up in class.
Yeah.
what they what they gain from that?
Yeah. And see, my thing is there are bad teachers out there. There are teachers that do terrible things. There are teachers that abuse their power. All of that is true. For those who might say, well, what about this? What about yeah, all that is a fact. But when you're talking about an entire institution, because I'm not talking about a few teachers who do inappropriate things or say inappropriate things. We are talking about the school system as an institution. And the school system as an institution is not corrupt, y'all. It is not.
No.
It is not. And you know what I'm saying? So we're not going to, what I'm saying is we can't sit here and justify, we can't justify defunding the schools because that's essentially what's been going on for decades at this point.
When we were in school,
Because there's a
they
few
were
bad
losing money.
teachers. That makes
They
no
was
sense.
losing money.
Huh?
When we were in school, they was beginning to lose money. Probably
Yeah.
before that. So
Yeah. Yeah. Like, bro, nowadays, man, like kids, like if your kid joins a team or whatever, man, the parents got to buy their own equipment. You got to buy all where it used to be so much stuff was just given. Like, bro, I played basketball and I used to wrestle, they just gave us uniforms, they gave us the headgear. We bought our own shoes, but we just got shoes that matched like the team. We had team shoes.
all day.
But they used to buy us all that stuff. But nowadays, man, I've heard about people with young children, and the parents got to come up with the money because the schools don't have it. Everything has been defunded. Everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, imagine defunding something and then trying to figure out why it doesn't work. Like, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever heard the saying, you get what you pay for? This is what we bought. We bought school shootings, y'all. I mean, that to me, I'm sure that it could be a little more complex than that, but to me, that is the common denominator amongst all violence in school. Let's throw Chirac in there. You know what I'm saying? It's about the resources, bro. Where you put resources, they don't. You know where they don't do. You know where schools don't get shot up? Private schools.
Private. I knew he was gonna say that.
Private schools don't
And
get shot
I'm
up.
leaning that way, bro.
Yeah,
How crazy is that though? You know what I mean? I'm leaning that way.
yeah. Private schools don't get shot up, bro. Because when you as a parent and when you're paying something out of pocket, you're gonna kind of quote unquote buy into the system. You want to get a return on your investment, right? Now, even though public school is funded by real estate taxes and whatnot, property taxes, it's different. It's different when you pay, especially if you're a renter, because you're a renter, you're not really paying into the school system. In a way, I guess you're paying through rent, but you're not paying the property tax directly. So I feel like with that public school system, there's just that the culture around it has just changed, man, and there's just no accountability to the school administrators and teachers the way that it used to be.
For sure.
Yeah.
Rod, how you feeling, big dog? Cause I'm a Rod ready to take off and like swing or
You're
something.
all ready to take off. I'm
saying? I'm with you,
I'm
though.
interested to hear this because I have a feeling Rod feels a little differently.
No comment. No comment.
All right.
It's love, bro.
All right.
It's love, bro. Because I know where that's we know, and all of us as parents though. But we know Rob, man. That's that onion he's peeling.
Yeah.
That's the kids is what get him, man.
Mhm.
And that's fair, bro.
Yeah, and it should. I mean, honestly, it should. I ain't gonna fault that. Well, shoot, man. I say to keep it light, man, or to lighten it back up. Is I was listening to Nas KD 2 the other day, bro. King's Disease 2, for y'all who don't know, the uninitiated. I'm gonna say this, bro. This is gonna be that album is his best album since
Yeah,
Illmatic.
better than Futures.
It's better than everybody, including Future. You know what I'm saying? I say it's better than K Dot. K Dot just dropped what's the album called again?
Yeah,
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
Yeah.
But it's better. You know what I'm saying? Like that album to me is the second best album of all time, and give it some time, it could pass Illmatic in my opinion. But that KD2 is something special to me, bro.
Bro, let it marinate though. Let it marinate. Bro.
It's been a year. It's been a
year, but let's let it keep sitting for a couple more years, bro. Not sitting, but you know what I mean. Let's see what happens. You know how some things don't age well, some things do.
Better than Stillmatic. It's better than Stillmatic. It's better than NAS. Because you talking to a Nas stan, by the way. It's better than Lost Tapes. Better than Lost Tapes 2. Better than Life is Good. Better than Kate. Bruh, it's the best. It's the best since Illmatic. It's the best since Illmatic. And it's better than Kendrick Lamar's last album.
I mean, we'll see how Kendrick's marinates too, bro.
Yeah.
We got to see how things marinate, man.
K-Dot be talking that talk, man. K-Dot talking that talk. I mean, that KD2 is dope. I'm not a Nas super stan though, so like it's definitely not my. You said the second best album of all time, just like overall or his.
No. In Nas's catalog.
Oh, okay.
No, just in Nas's catalog. I ain't standing that hard.
Okay, I had to clarify that.
He about to say, what about Sean Carter?
It's not the best album of all time. That's too much. The Chronic 2001.
Oh
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm not a Nas super stan, so I'm not going to even like disrespect him like that. You know what I mean? But I personally like It Was Written better than Illmatic, me personally. But sonically, it was better to my ears. But I will trust your opinion on that one.
You know, I've heard a lot of people say that though, bro. That is not like a super like unpopular opinion. A lot of people say that It Was Written was better than Illmatic. And I can see where that comes from, because I will say It Was Written sounds more modern. Like Illmatic sounds
fire, bro.
There's still a lot of old school, almost 80s hip hop element there. Yeah, because I mean because really honestly, like, because they 2 years apart. Illmatic dropped in 94. It Was Written was in 96, and they do sound like two completely different people. Like his subject is still kind of the same, but he's like more on like mafioso, kind of Goodfellas kind of vibe. Whereas Illmatic was just gritty. It was in the street. It sounded like it was recorded in somebody's basement. They were two completely different versions of Nas. It's almost like, because Illmatic dropped, but it didn't really do numbers when it dropped. Like it was critically acclaimed, but nobody was really checking for it until It Was Written dropped, and he never went back. Yeah, so I can understand that, Rod. I get that completely. As a stan, of course, I'm going to say Illmatic, but I can't really even argue or get mad at anybody who puts It Was Written over Illmatic.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Man. So I know, man. We only got a few more minutes, man. One, congratulations to the Boston Celtics.
Oh yeah,
Boston Celtics. For making the NBA Finals.
JT.
You know what I'm saying? Going against Golden State. Jason Tatum, man. We talked about this episodes back. For those listeners, man, dial in, man, check in. And we talked about the three-headed monster, right? Who's next? And I think we said, how come we not talk about Jason Tatum? And we talked about, that allure, the way he, carries himself off the court. Not to say that he's like boring or anything, but there's more appeal with like a Ja Morant. But we'll see, because that appeal may change next month. You know what I'm saying? As he leading Boston, man, to Oakland. They're gonna be out in that Bay Area going against the Warriors. Or they playing game 1 in Boston? I gotta look that up. But either way, definitely gonna be a good show. Gonna be a good show, man. I like the matchups. I think the matchups are even. And I don't know, bro. I don't know who's gonna win. I'm saying it's going 7. It's going 7 games.
Yeah, man.
I'll go ahead. Go ahead, Rod.
No, I was gonna say I'm hoping Boston pulls it out. Me being a Bron fan, something against those Warriors with those 3 still together, I can't vibe with them, bro.
You just hate Draymond because he went to Michigan State, bro.
That too, bro. Like another year of hearing Draymond talk drunk at the press conference or come on.
DC, who you got? Or what's your prediction of games? Because like I said, I can't pick right now, but I'm saying it's going 7 games.
Boston in 6. I called Boston in 6 way back when they beat the Bucks. Bro, I was convinced that I thought that whoever won the Bucks Boston series was going to win the championship.
You did say that.
Yeah. And I still feel that way. I feel like if the Heat would have won last night, then or the other night, then it would have been Golden State, because I feel like Golden State matches up very, very well against the Heat. But I think that Boston is going to dirty up the finals, and they're going to get physical with them, kind of like how they did with Brooklyn Nets and KD, how they just kind of beat them up a little bit. I think they're going to do something similar.
Smart, them boys.
Yeah, I think they're going to do something similar to Golden State. They're not going to dominate them. I think it's going to be a lot of close games, but that physical aspect is going to get them an extra 5, maybe 5 to 8 points. And when you talk about 2 elite teams, because they're both elite, that 8-point swing is going to be the difference, bro. So I say Boston is 6, bro.
Lastly, because Rob, we got to get that quote, man, so you can take us home, man. But rest in peace, Ray Liotta, man.
For sure.
Man, the good fella,
man.
The good fella.
That is my favorite movie of all time, Goodfellas.
That's in my top 3, bro. All time.
I would say my top 3. Top 3. Godfather 2 is my number 1. Godfather 1 is my number 2. I'll probably put Goodfellas as number 3. But ain't nobody topping Godfather for me. But bro, if that's your number 1 all time, I'm not gonna be mad at that.
Yeah, it's not number 1 all time. It's in the top 3. But Goodfellas, bro.
Yeah,
DC,
Goodfellas.
bro. We was in college, bro. We was in Germany, bro. We was in the crib and watched that like back to back, bro.
I'm gonna go get the papers.
Papers, bro. Jimmy 2 times, man.
Jimmy 2 times.
Ray Liotta was amazing, bro. I mean, not just that, man. He's done so many other projects, but we know playing Henry Hill, man, and that based on a true story film was. Yeah. Martin Scorsese did a hell of a job, bro.
Yeah.
Picking that guy, because that guy brought it to life. And Ray Liotta, man, rest in peace, man. Our condolences and shout out, to his family and wish them, the best. And hey, he gave us a lot of great art, man. So rest in peace, man.
Yeah, I think Robert De Niro is the last living golf.
Joe Pesci, man. Joe Pesci's still there, bro. Stop trying to kill Joe Pesci, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought Joe was out of there.
He's still here, bro.
Oh, my bad, Joe. My bad. I don't know why I thought he was out of there. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And Casino. Yeah, bro. Casino up there, bro. Casino fire. So yeah, man, De Niro, Pesci, man, and shout out to them, because I know they had I seen, matter of fact, Joe Pesci's post. Like that hurt them. And they've been like thick as thieves per se since that movie. Like they really became real like homies. And so definitely shout out to them too.
For sure.
That's what's up.
So Rod, man, I know we recapped last week's episode, man. We really talked about, what's going on in this world, man, and everything now, man, with these kids, man. But break us down, man, out this huddle, man, with some words of positive and wisdom that I know I can take with me, and I'm pretty sure whoever listening can take with them.
For sure. The process of healing does not end when the wounds are no longer visible. It ends when the wounds are no longer aching.
Okay.
Bars. That's true, man.
Yeah.
Man. Bro, did you already have this written down, bro? Did you knew we was going to be talking about some stuff?
Nah, not at all, bro. When the Lord moves you.
Facts.
Love it.
Facts.
Mhm.
There it is right there, man. So DC, Rod, all love, man. I know we didn't piss nobody off, but I know some people
Nah.
got some takes on this. I know some people got some takes on this, and I want to hear your thoughts. We
For
want to
sure.
hear your thoughts, man. And DC, man, you know, go
For
ahead and put
sure.
that beer down, bro, or pick it back up, man. And
And
with that, yeah, go ahead.
before you cue the music, bro, like today is Memorial Day. So, you know, for
Yes.
all of those that fought and lost their lives for us, man, we salute you.
Salute,
Big salute.
y'all, man. Let's just salute and salute to y'all families too.
For
So
sure.
that's big, man. Happy Memorial Day. And that's all I got, man. It's all love, man. And cue the music.